So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and.
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
Like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
so
fair.
You're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Name?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
how do you do it? Teach me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I got
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something
All
funny
right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying your Friday. It's Friday, y'all. It is Friday, and I'm so happy about it. I am so excited about it being Friday. I hope you guys are all having a grand rising. I hope you guys start off this weekend right by doing something positive today. Speaking of positive, I did something stupid. The opposite of positive. I miscalculated. I miscalculated the days. I thought today was going to be, I honestly thought that today was going to be the day that I was going to be emancipated, set free. But apparently I did the math wrong. And it allegedly, I'm out tomorrow. So I'll be able to get back on the main channel tomorrow. So I just wanted to let you guys know all of that because, you know, math is hard. Life is hard. It's hard out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here for a pimp, you know, when you try to make the money for the rent. Just saying. Cadillac and gas money spent. You got a whole lot of chickens jumping shit. Anyway, so I made a mistake. So I apologize for doing that because I know I've been hyping it up. I'm like, Friday, but I was wrong. Apparently, I'm set free tomorrow. So I might do a show tomorrow, something brief, just to exorcise the demons out of that, exorcise the evil demons out of that, off that main channel, and, you know, knock the dust off that damn thing on the main channel. So I will be most likely doing something tomorrow if I have the time. I'm gonna try to see what I can do and see if I can squeeze something in for tomorrow. But gotta love that drift with this camera. But anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in and being over here on this conversation. I know a lot of y'all were very ready and very hype about jumping over to the main channel. Trust me, so am I. I miss it like crazy, and I can't wait till we are finally free from the shackles of words, I guess. Free from the shackles of being punished for speaking. So, anyway, did the math wrong, like I said, because usually when you get the alert of said strike, right, or said thing, you usually it's from that moment on, right? So when I saw it, it said that it issued the thing around 6 a.m. on a Friday. So 14 days later, it should be today at around the 6 a.m. time. So I was expecting to wake up with things just kind of lifted, everything back to normal. But apparently it's saying I got one more day. So we're going to do what we do. We're going to keep it moving, you know, and apparently tomorrow I will be fully relinquished of all the penalties, you know, and I'll be able to get back up and do this thing again. But regardless, you know, I am happy that we're able to talk. We're still able to have a conversation on the secondary channel. So I'm very happy about that. For those of y'all who haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button down below. That would really mean a lot. I'd love to see this thing cross over 200 subscribers before the end of this week. That would be dope as hell. And like I said, we're just working on this secondary channel for now until, I guess, tomorrow, when I will be set free and I can do my thing again on my main channel. So, David's in the house. What to go on, man?
Not much. Everything's good. Pretty tired. It was a busy day for me yesterday. Ended up setting up the rest of my game room, which was pretty nice, and spent most of the rest of the day working to try and get some money because I've been lazy this week and haven't been making a whole lot of money.
I feel you. But I'm glad you were able to do something. You said something about a game room, bruh? Like, what?
Oh, yeah,
what kind
it's
of game room?
Set up a video game room. Mostly. I mean, it's going to probably have a pool table back there at some point, but I don't own one yet.
Nice.
Yeah, right now it's just like 12 different consoles and an old TV.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Shoot, the way that you built those bookshelves behind you, I mean, you might as well just build your own pool table. Why not?
You could try, I guess.
Hey, people have done crazier things, so why the hell not, right?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, right now I got I don't remember what all I have in there right now. I have like every Nintendo system, I think. I have like 4 different PlayStations, a few Xboxes, like all the different generations. Got like 2 Ataris and everything. I just like to collect. I've kept, like most people sold those things back in the day. I ended up keeping a good deal of it. I sold my original NES, but other than that, I've been keeping everything. I still even have like my first Game Boy Color and crap.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I think those are over here actually. And here's like the old Game Boy Advance.
That's dope.
This is a Game Boy Color from like I don't know, 92.
That's crazy. Like that. And it still works?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man. I mean, I think we still have some old Game Boys. And it's funny because like the original, because it was all gray and everything. And I remember as a kid, we would always like color them, like color over the gray with like a permanent marker. Yeah. Color it red or green or whatever color we wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and it's funny how like after that's when they started doing a variety of different colors for the console and everything. So that's cool, man. That's cool that you still have that stuff, that old school stuff. That's dope, man. That's hella dope. That is hella dope. I wish these social media platforms would just provide clear list of rules of what you can and can't say, regardless of who thinks it's fair or not, so at least people would know how to navigate. I couldn't agree more with you, the pioneer. I couldn't agree more with you, seriously. But at the same time, like, hey, what's an extra day? You know what I mean? What's another day? No big deal. We're going to have a good time. I did have a big announcement that I was going to make, but I was going to make it on the main channel, and I think I'm going to, well, I'm just going to say it here. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. But at the same time, I am going to tell you guys the piece of information that you need to know. Real talk. And I will reiterate it and say it again on Monday as well. But I am very, very excited to announce that the show will be broadcasting live from Miami in July. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I will be saying it again. I have a much bigger promo thing that I'm putting together right now. Me and some of my team are putting together this kind of announcement thing. So I will be putting something out on Monday on the show when we get back onto the main channel so that more people can hear this news. But yes, the show will be broadcasting live from Miami in July. And I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be a fun, dope series of shows. We're going to have a really good time out there. And it's going to be different. The times might be different, too, during the time that I'm out there. But like I said, it's going to be dope. I gotta, I'm already building up a list of people that are going to be on the show to sit down and chop it up with me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be hot. It's going to be Miami. So I'm very, very excited about that. And so just be on the lookout for that. I will be putting out this more information here on Monday. But I'll be trickling more information as the month goes on, as we get closer and closer to the starting date of the show in Miami. But yes, Miami, Pascal Show will be broadcasting live directly from Miami in July. So there you have it. There's the information. I'm very excited about it. I was going to do this giveaway, but I think I'm going to hold the giveaway until Monday because I wanted to get more people a chance to win something really cool, an opportunity for something. It was something I was trying to do a while back, but it's funny because every single time that I've tried to do this giveaway, I've been hit. I've been locked up for just speaking. So it's crazy. I can't believe, like, I feel like Lenny Bruce here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Lenny Bruce, you know? And I'm not even saying anything that bad. We aren't even saying anything that bad. And I feel like we get locked up every single time we just say something. You know what I mean? Siri, yes, it is still the coffee. Yes. She remembers. She remembers every single time I try to give away this freaking coffee, I get hit every time. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, I'm revving things back up. The show is getting back up on its legs. We get hit again. Because we're talking about the thing that we can't talk about no more. But it surrounds us every single day. We're fighting it every single day. People are outside in the streets protesting about this every single day. And I can't talk about it. And it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Mr. T. What up, T? He said, bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Pascal comes for you? Something like that. What's he gonna do when Pascal? What? What's he gonna win a pass? That doesn't work. But I'll go with you, man. It's the morning. You're just throwing words in there. It worked for a second. In your head, you thought it worked. In your head, you thought it worked. Yeah, no thongs for me, Roberta. Hell to the no. Unless you want people to be really jealous. Like I said, it's glorious. This derriere. You have no idea. You have no idea. So.
Like, Siri told you not to get eaten by alligators, so don't do that, because there are a lot out there. I don't know if you've been seeing this lately, but a lot of alligators have been showing up in the city areas, like giant ones too. But it's not really that unusual in the area. I went I went mountain biking. It wasn't really mountain biking. But they had like a trail north of Miami that I went on. It was basically just like these wooden planks you go through a swamp. There were literally dozens of alligators underneath the trail just sitting there watching you go by. So there's a lot of them there. Watch out for that.
Y'all look delicious. Y'all look very delicious.
I never went back to that one.
No, I'm good. I mean, I've done alligator like tours in Miami. I've done like boat charter things where we went out into the ocean and went fishing, you know, stuff like that. Fun stuff. But I've been to Miami so many different times, right? I've been to Miami so many times that to me now it's like a second home. So I ain't worried about no alligators. Come on now. I'm worried about the sharks. Let's be real. I'm worried about them sharks. Because right now, apparently the population in sharks has grown during this time that I can't talk about. So
because there's nothing there. So like all the jellyfish and all the things they eat are just chilling right next to the beach, and nothing's disturbing it, and they're just waiting there for more food.
Absolutely. They're just like, hey, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Anyway, by the way, your settings went wacky for a second there, yo. You know, the pioneer just said, perhaps Pascal is targeted because he's intelligent and has a multiracial and international audience. Perhaps if he was a cussing stereotype who threatens people, he'd be good. You know, it's funny. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. Maybe I roasted the wrong person in a video that got hit and seen by many, many people. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just these darn mother-loving bots that are just flying in and just getting triggered. every single time that we talk about said things. We are, the show's an intelligent, multiracial, international show. And there's a lot of people on this show that are forward-thinking, think outside of the box, independently thinking human beings. And unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe they got a problem with it. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, it ain't going to stop this train. Okay? It ain't going to stop this train. This is why we have a secondary channel. If I have to build a thirdary channel, secondary, thirdary,
tertiary,
you know what I mean? Fourthiary, you know what I mean? If I have to,
Yeah.
well, dag nabbit, I will. That's it. And we will always find each other, you know, like kindred spirits, you know what I'm saying? Soulmates that are just like, we will find each other. I'll find you, you know what I mean? As he fades away, you know what I mean? You know, like those you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like Cloud Atlas or something like that. No one saw that movie, by the way, but you know what I'm saying. In other lives, I will find you. You know what I mean? So we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
We will find each other. If anything goes to ish, and I don't think it will, because I've been I went through with a fine-tooth comb and just went, bop, 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 bop. You know what I mean? Yes, Mr. T's right. It started with that shut, boing, 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 that whole thing. It started right there when I started roasting that dude. And then I got in trouble. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So we're just going to go with it. You know what I mean? We're going to go with it. It's going to be okay, though. It's going to be okay. We're going to be open tomorrow. Like I said, I most likely will do something tomorrow just to have an open conversation with y'all or something, maybe a speak on it Saturday for a little bit if I have the time. I'm just still trying to figure out where and when it'll go down because tomorrow is fairly busy, but we will make it happen. Kiki5 is saying, good save, Pascal, because I said ridiculous. Pascal, have you been reading Shakespeare last night? It's sounding a bit Romeo and Juliet in here. Yes, it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, star-crossed lovers, you know? Just saying. Is it, that's a question. This is so nerdy, but I'm going to do it. This is a question for Siri, because she just mentioned Shakespeare, Shakespeare. So is it? I think it's spelled like this. I'm putting it in the comment section. Is it zounds or zwoons? I forgot how. I need to look that up. The word.
I think it's zounds.
I heard. See, this is the thing that in college we had this debate over and over again because it's supposed to be God's wounds. And I'm probably spelling it wrong. But they were like zwoons or zounds. And I've heard both. I'm probably
Like
spelling it wrong.
Zounds.
I think it's Zounds. Yes.
As far as I know, it's pronounced Downs.
Okay. See, I've been saying zounds too because it sounds weird saying zwoons. But then at the same time, you know, I'm not some Shakespearean expert. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's left turn back into the conversation and not off-road into Shakespeare conversation. But what were you saying, David? What were you going to say? You were about to say something because you're like, well, actually, he was about to, you know when David's about to drop some knowledge, when he doesn't have the glasses on, but he has that, he has the voice where it sounds like he's about to push the glasses back up on the bridge of his nose. Like, well, actually, let me tell you this truth. So go ahead, educate us, man. Because I already know you're about to drop some knowledge. I hope. Please tell me I ain't wrong.
Nah, I mean Shakespeare's pretty.
Thank you.
Like you said, his language is.
I knew it.
He does have the thing with Shakespeare is like it is modern English, but it does have some of the like Middle English pronunciations, which makes it more German-like. So that's why some of the words don't work the way they used to. But yeah, it's like like a lot of people say it's Middle English, but it's not. If Middle English is like a Chaucer and stuff, and I've actually learned Middle English in the past, so Shakespeare makes a lot more sense if you go through the effort of like getting some Middle English or German in there, because he uses a lot of those words.
Yeah.
So,
Siri says it's both apparently. Zounds, wounds. It just depends on how you want to say it. Because also the pronunciation and all that is there's that whole mid-Atlantic the mid-Atlantic accent and mid-Atlantic pronunciation of words. Like I said, now we're going off into some nerdy ass ish, which we need to veer back into the conversation. We're not here to talk about Shakespeare, okay? We're here to talk about all this other stuff. So we're going to do our thing and get into the news and get into this conversation. But I'm glad everybody's here. Be sure to hit that like button all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we were having like a nerdy English class segment just for a second there. But what is he rhyming with it or rhyming it with? That's a good question. A lot of times it's not in a rhyming couplet. It's just being said. Sometimes it's just by itself. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just somebody going, zounds. Like, it's kind of like my God. You know what I mean? It's like an expression in that way. You know what I mean? So anyway. Sound the bell. School's in, sucker. Can't touch this. Okay, so let's move into some of the news, shall we? We got to get into it. You know what I mean? We could talk about that stuff. I don't think all day long, but we could talk about this stuff for a while. Unfortunately, we got to do a little bit of a left turn. And we got to talk about this shooting that happened in Florida in, where was this? This was in, where is it? Palm? Oh, man, I lost it. Where the heck is it? Palm Beach. Royal Palm Beach is where the shooting happened. A man fatally shot a woman and child inside a Florida supermarket, which is called the Publix, which is a major chain of grocery stores in Florida, in a supermarket Thursday before killing himself, authorities said, causing dozens to flee the store in panic. The shooting happened shortly after... Hold on, let me pull this up. I thought this was up. So, the shooting happened shortly after 11:30 a.m. at a Publix located in a strip mall that also houses small shops and restaurants. Detectives are reviewing security video and talking to witnesses, said the sheriff's office spokeswoman Terry Barbera. She said investigators believe the shooter and the victims may have known each other. No names have been released. All right. So right now we have, they said Ron Glassman, a stress management consultant, had just parked his car and was headed to another shop when about 50 customers and employees in small clusters came out running of the Publix, yelling, there's a shooter, don't go in there. They said it was pretty chaotic. People were very shaken. He said armed sheriff deputies wearing helmets and bulletproof vests arrived about 5 minutes later. And of course, they say that this was an isolated incident, that the shooter, of course, was had taken his own life taken his own life after shooting this woman and this child. Now, that is 3 dead, including the child and the shooter. And they're saying that this was a targeted incident where this woman and this child were both in this man's sights. And they don't know anything as far as like what the relationship is, why that there was a shooting of that sort that happened yesterday. But it was a short incident that happened in a Publix in Florida. And and I talk about this all the time. I say this all the time on the show. It is very frustrating to me when you have these shootings that happen, and they've been happening all the time. It's like I said, it seems like at least once a week we are covering some sort of shooting, whether it is something smaller like this, more isolated, or just really, really big, like what happened about last week with the shooting that happened in San Jose, where 20 people were. Was it 20? I forgot what it was. There was but we did see how many. See how crazy it is, like the amount of shootings that happen on a daily. Right? We have all these shootings that happen on a daily. That I'm getting them mixed up. There was a shooting in Miami where 22 people were shot, 2 of them were killed, 22 people were injured. It was a drive-by basically, or a stop-by. They come out with semi-automatic weapons, blast the entire front of a club. The week before that was the shooting where the man was in San Jose. He goes over to his place of work. He shoots and kills 8. He shoots and kills 8 people. 9 including himself. And those are all people that he personally knew, he worked with. As we start to hear these stories, the more and more numb we become, the more desensitized we are to this violence. I don't want us to be desensitized to this violence. We need to make sure that we feel these things so that hopefully we don't have these things happen. These things happen less and less. We find ways to make gun control or mental health a focus. But now you got a woman and a child that were inside of Publix just getting their milk, their bread, their eggs, getting their groceries for the day. And they were both shot and killed by this man. I'm getting very tired with the feeling or the thought that every problem that we face can be easily solved by reaching for a gun. I want a moment where we can actually have conversations and make everybody realize that your answers cannot be solved by pulling a trigger. That just makes the situation or your problem that more complicated. I'm personally getting really tired of it. Real talk. I'm just getting tired of it. And this just goes to show to you how much we need to look more at our gun control and how we need to look and how we need to approach our mental health. Seriously. David?
Yeah, I mean, like we said before, it just keeps on happening. And honestly, like, this one in particular, I'm almost surprised this even ended up getting talked about because of how many shootings there have been. And the fact is that, like, just 2 people killed almost makes it insignificant to all the other shootings we've seen lately. And that's really a bad sign. I mean, right now they're generally looking at 4 or 5 kills per mass shooting before they even report it in the major news, it seems like, because we're getting so used to all these mass shootings that have 1 or 2 dead people with like 10 or so casualties. We see those almost every single day. It's really this, I don't know. I mean, like we said, it's spreading everywhere. This isn't too surprising. I mean, we don't know why he did it. Maybe he had some personal relations to them. So far, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says they don't know the motive or relationship between the shooter and the victims. And it's not something we can really look up right now because the family invoked Marcy's Law, which means that the police cannot release that information to us about the people killed or why, unless it goes to a criminal trial. But it's basically private information right now, so we're not going to know all the details. However, Publix has released that they'll be working with authorities, so they'll be pretty much handing over all the video cameras and evidence they have to pretty much handle that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Obviously, they, understandably, the family doesn't want to have that kind of information out yet. Maybe they just want to be done, not say much about this. I don't know. Like I said, it just gets very frustrating. Ryan James just said, Professor Pascal, that's fun. Rand Paul stated that suicides have claimed more lives than the stuff. Society is reaching its breaking point. I do believe that. I think. I'm not a fan of the man. Okay, I'll just say that really quick. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I agree with him because I think that's a strong claim. But at the same time, and maybe David can clickety-clack really quick because I can't do that, unfortunately, to get the information. But maybe we could find out the rates between the thing that we're battling every single day and suicide rates. But, and of course, we got to be careful with what we say. David, just a friendly reminder. But
suicides are definitely higher. That's been reported multiple times lately.
Well, wait, so it's
across
been
the world almost.
Across the world, but it's been higher than the death rates of the thing that we're dealing with every single day for the past 16 months?
Let's check.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I don't want to be wrong. And, Ryan James commented something that is a good statement. And yes, okay, so to go on to what I was going to say while David's looking this thing up, Rand Paul could be correct. He could very well be correct. And I do agree, society is reaching its breaking point for sure. Everything is polarizing. Everything is polarizing. Everything. And we're all locked up. Like we're locked up like crazy right now. Still, even if you get even if you get up to date, you know what I'm saying? Even if you get up to date or not, okay? There's still all the stresses of what you're seeing on TV, in the news, what your friends are saying, what your friends aren't saying. If you agree with them on that, if you agree with them on the other thing, or you disagree with them on the other thing. There's shootings and police brutality going on every single day. These are all things that are getting thrown in front of us on a daily, whilst being locked up. Of course, people are gonna start to break. Of course. Now, I'm not about to sit there and say that the thing that we've been battling for the past year and a half almost, I'm not going to sit here and say that that is more or less than, but at the same time, mental health is a very serious issue for reals. And this being locked up is not helping us.
Does looks like suicide rates are higher in 30 countries than the other death rate.
Well, that's what's up.
So a lot of countries, and it's trending upward, are having pretty much those other deaths have been going down for a couple of months, and suicides have been coming up since about a year now. About a year now, they've been skyrocketing. Peru and Mexico in particular have far more suicides than illness deaths, and this includes up to the United States if you consider the past 2 months. So it is generally across the world. It looks like it's trending up that suicides will be the highest cause of death right now instead of that.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, and that could very well be it too. I mean, let's be real. Like I've been saying, we have been dealing with a lot of issues. We've been dealing with a lot of heavy, hard-hitting issues where we have constantly been like, if I walk out this door and just go to the grocery store, I could come back sick. Everybody's been paranoid with that. Wearing these things around our faces, going anywhere. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And then on top of that, people losing their jobs, people having to work from home. Some people really like being able to work away from home because it gives them a little time away from their family. Some people are in toxic relationships or have toxic family or a toxic household. So they have to deal with them every single day. People are losing their jobs. People are making less money. So that messes with a man's spirit. That messes with a woman's spirit. You're wondering where the next dollar's coming from. These stimulus checks only came out a few times and could only do so much. So you're covering maybe your power bill and your cell phone bill and a few groceries, but then you're probably going and getting food stamps because you need to make ends meet. And you're probably going, I've never had to do that in my whole entire life, but I'm also collecting unemployment. And for some people, it's not as much as what they were making when they were working. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing. And it's not only just financials, but it's just being holed up. And then it's like, how many times can you watch a Netflix movie? Or, you've gone through all the Netflix shows already because you've been locked up. So you're rewatching stuff and you're just going, oh my God, this cyclical thing of just being home all day long. Can't even go to the damn gym for a good while there. So everybody who is trying to get summer ready, get their, slim thick going on, all that stuff gone. The things that make us feel good about ourselves are completely stripped from us. It's crazy. So of course, society is at its breaking point. Shoot, man. We're about to have in a second here debates about certain things. People are talking about, we got cancel culture out here. Somebody says one thing, then and it's not meant to be in some type of degrading way. Suddenly that thing or that person gets canceled. Or, you're, like I said, there's just so many different things that just keep popping up and keep getting thrown at us every single day. Whether you get up to date, if you know what I'm saying, whether you get up to date or not up to date, there are people outside in the streets protesting about having the right to not be up to date. Real talk right now. Everything's turned polarizing. Everything. We're going to talk about bonnets here in a second. And that's even polarizing. Real talk. We got the Late Late Show getting under fire for something. Real talk. The Late Late Show's under fire for something that they've been doing forever. Now they're under fire for something that they probably didn't even know that they did wrong. Everything is polarizing and it's ridiculous. And I feel like the stress of trying to be on the right side like this, you're just hopping back and forth all the time. I just feel like I could see someone snapping. It's so hard. It's so hard. I think that's one thing about this show too, by the way, David. One of the reasons why we're not at millions of subscribers on the main channel and all that is because we're not just on one side the entire time. That we think independently. If we were just some huge echo chamber for the hardcore left or the hardcore right, I feel like we would be, I'd be driving a Lambo right now. I'd be talking to Brandon Tatum going, yeah, man,
Get that Fox. Yeah, you can get a Fox.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies.
Black and talking shit on black people. Get a job quick.
Hell no, I don't want to do that. I ain't no sellout. You know what I mean? I love my people. Yeah. I love my people and I love all people. I ain't got time to sell any of my people out. Nah. If the truth is right there, I'm going to speak the truth, period. But that's the thing. That's what's so frustrating about the world that we live in, Because you can't just be in the middle and just have an opinion over here and then have an opinion over there. You can't. As soon as you do that, people go, I don't get him. I don't get what's going on here. It's like, what? You can't be... Open your minds, babies. Because no matter what, if you're on one side or the other side, right? You're going to be stuck in a box. Real talk. If you only think these views, then you're in the closet. You know what I mean? You've thrown yourself into a box.
For the U.S., I got a little more. It looks like
Okay.
About 7 different states right now are currently, or in the past, have been outpacing the other thing for death. And it looks like over the next month, with the continuing trends, we should see about another 10 to 20 states also reflect that. So, and they're all trending towards that direction right now.
Interesting.
This is according to both the CDC, the National Health or Institute of Health, and the National Library of Medicine.
So it is more than the thing we've been fighting off.
For 5 states right now in the past, and it looks like 10 to 12, I guess 12 for sure, will be transitioning over to, based on their increasing suicide rates and their declining other rate, that should surpass it within the next month or so.
Hamburger. Okay. But you also got to remember, a lot of people are still, like, nothing's been solved yet. Yes, people are getting up to date. Some people are not wanting to get up to date, right? And it's funny because the people who are getting up, who are not deciding to get up to date, the people who have been up to date are treating those people who are not up to date like they have leprosy. It's ridiculous. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. But even that, like, we're not, I mean, you know, in a year, maybe 2, depending if this whole thing dies down, this will be a memory. You know, we'll talk about it like it's just a thing of the past, right? But for right now, people are still unemployed. People are still trying to find their jobs. Some people are not wanting to leave their homes because they're so comfortable too. There's that other side too, that they're like, hey, there were benefits from working from home. I don't want to go back into the office. I want to stay right here. I want to stay right here in my crib. I'm good. I don't need to go anywhere because I don't want to get sick, regardless. So it's a frustrating time. It's a frustrating time. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say, one of the statistics that seems to be the most depressing is that older men are already committing suicide at a higher rate than 25 states do in terms of the other death rate. So, in most states, you're seeing around, well, not most states, but the bottom 20, you're seeing around 10 to 20% per thousand, or 10 to 20 per 100,000 for some of the illness relations. But for the male death rate, it's 70 people per 100,000. Over 75 commit suicide. So a lot of the suicides are top heavy here. So, for instance, older males make up are more likely to die by suicide almost 3 times as much as in most of these states as the other illness that we're talking about. So it's not a great sign. Of course, you know, it depends on which ones you break down to. So if you take younger women, they're a little more vulnerable to the illness versus suicides. But once you start looking at older people, or you start looking at males, it's starting to look like the suicide rate is not much higher, but notably higher in most of the states right now.
Yeah. And so, you know, Ryan James with his comment saying that Rand Paul said that the rates of people taking their lives over the rates of this thing are higher. You know, it does make sense. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Rand Paul, but at the same time, so far in some of the states, he ain't wrong. But it also is because of the thing that we're battling too. This is not just a random, like, if this thing wasn't floating around, that the rates would still be high. No, I think that they would be at their standard regular number. But I think that they've increased because of the amount of stress that's been built upon this whole thing that we're dealing with for the past year and a half now. I think that if that wasn't here, numbers would have stayed the same, you know? But I do appreciate that comment, though. We got to move on to the next story, but go ahead. What were we going to say real quick?
I was going to say that, unfortunately, I just did say female suicide rates are lower, but unfortunately, they are also rising. I just wanted to point that out. It's not just male suicide rates that are, we're getting more of them. We're also getting more of the female suicide rates. It's just not at the same speed as we're getting more male suicides.
Word. Right.
But it might catch up, unfortunately.
It might. I mean, if things don't change, if this thing that everybody's doing right now to get up to date so that they can live life and they can open up this country finally, if it doesn't work, it's going to get worse. Just say, if it doesn't work, it's going to get worse. I hate to say it like that, but that's the truth. That is the truth. You know, I don't want to be Debbie Downer up in this piece, but at the same time, it is the truth. And yes, Ryan said women are now drinking as much as men now simply to cope with depression. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. The introduction of women into the workforce has almost been proportional to the amount of depressions and suicides increased within women. So it's not surprising. I think this includes males, but just in our industrialized society, work in general, unless it's something you really want to do, like the show, for instance, does seem to make people more depressed and live shorter lives.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing is also on top of that, you got to remember though too. Let's throw this other side too. People are drinking and kicking it even more right now too, because they've been locked up for so long too. So I mean, I'm sure Ryan's study or this comment is coming from something that's been happening over the year, because women like to have their little white wine spritzers, you know what I mean, talking it up with their friends, and maybe it turns into, well, shoot, since I'm not doing as much anymore, I don't have to hit the gym. I don't have to run all these errands anymore. I don't have to do this, that, and the third. My job is at home now. So instead of getting home from a long day of work and being able to wrap up myself with a cozy, a good book and a white spritzer, it turns into, whilst at work, you're, right after you made your scrambled eggs, you're already downing your white spritzers. You see what I'm saying? That has happened. I've seen people talk about that too. Just going, whoa, I am drinking. I am drinking a lot. Whoa. And they just realized, damn, I just drank 3 bottles of wine in a course of half the day. Whoa. When it used to just be a glass of wine before I go to bed. Damn. So it is a thing that is true. But I also do think that because the country is opening up now, people are more susceptible to be kicking it harder now. Like I said, I'm thinking that this summer is going to be a crazy ass summer. If everything keeps going down the way that it's going. Everyone gets up to date, or at least a large majority of the country gets up to date. I think that this is going to be crazy. And then next summer, when even more people are up to date, ooh, I almost slipped, are up to date, I think it's going to be even more crazy. And I mean that in the way of people are going to want to celebrate, but I think it's going to be excessive. It's going to be the time of excess, I think. That's what we're going to see this summer too. Continue. Then we got to jump into this next story. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say that there have been some basic studies that show that, not in the same way as a disease, obviously, but suicides are contagious. People that have known someone who commits suicide are more likely to be depressed by a considerable margin, and a lot of suicides do follow other suicides. So it is a thing that is a social contagion in our society to a degree. And it's the more people do it, the more people they hurt, and the more people that are hurting, the more people are likely to commit suicide. And it just keeps on feeding itself that way. That's why we see, in general, suicides spike in a community before they spike throughout the whole country. And we're not really addressing this. I mean, even right now, we have people that don't have enough money for food and housing, and that's causing an increase in depression, while at the same time Biden announces 500 million doses are going out, and we're spending money in Pakistan, and people still can't even get food right now. A lot of people are angry and depressed, and it's only going to get worse with the current situations we have set up, especially now that we're looking at a lack of we're not going to be seeing a wage increase anytime soon. We'll probably see an increase in costs and taxes, and the dollar, based on inflation, we're generally losing money right now. Even as unless you own a property, you're generally losing a lot of money right now, just based on the value of the dollar that's going to be shifting over the next few months, especially as U.S.-backed manufacturers are the ones that are losing a lot lately. Like Disney's losing out in China a lot, or our own produced medicine is being rejected in a lot of places. So um, the country is in a sort of social decline, and it's going to continue to be associated, I think, with an increase of suicide rates. And if just based on the trends, that is going to be the case no matter what.
Facts. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, this is going to be, it's funny. I just saw in the corner of my eye. Oh, okay. 100% Reaganism. Yeah, literally. I just feel like it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very interesting couple years where this might be the era of excess, like the 80s, like the Reagan era, which was just excess and, partying, excess and cocaine. A lot of people partying and kicking it. And I have a feeling it's going to be like that. Another version of that, at least, where people are just going to want to blow a lot of cash. Yes, we are losing a lot of money, but at the same time, some people are just like, man, I just want to live. I just want to live again, So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens over this time. But yes, suicide rates are at an all-time high. I do agree with that. It is getting very serious out here. It goes to show to you what this country is dealing with and how this country is dealing with how this country is dealing mentally with this whole situation that we've been dealing with all of the amount of shootings that we've had in the past few months alone, in the past few weeks alone, clearly shows us that America is mentally unhealthy. That America needs to have a sit down and a conversation with a professional. Real talk. The mental health in this country is bad, and it's clear as day.
And I
clear
do.
as day. Yeah, okay, go ahead. I keep on trying to wrap this up so I can go. Come on, man. Go.
I was just gonna say, I don't know. Actually, just go on to the next thing. It's fine.
No, say your thing, man. Say it. Speak on it, baby.
All right. So.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Basically, I mean, we have a lot of situations here where perspectives aren't just the same, and so people are seeing the world in very different ways, which does very much affect the way they're living right now. So a lot of people think that we're facing the end of the world with certain things like climate change, when we know it is an issue, don't get me wrong, but we know that it's not going to just erase humanity. But a lot of people seem to think that it's going to change the weather, and it's going to be changing the weather for hundreds of years. That carbon's been in the atmosphere before, and it's going to be back in it eventually. So things are going to change, and some of those changes are going to suck a lot, but the world's not ending that way. I think a lot of people have lost the perspective of how severe certain things can be, because I've noticed this, especially I think it was yesterday, that people were praising Iran for its willingness to have transsexual individuals, and saying that thousands of people on the LGBT side saying that obviously Iran is much better for gay people because they never hear gay people complain in Iran. That's because you get executed if you have gay intercourse. That's because you're most likely going to be lynched. Just last year when they found a gay man in the military, they hung him right on the spot, not even with the law, and no one got in trouble. People have these ideas that things are the worst in America that they can possibly be, and that things are always the worst here, but they're ignoring that things are actually a lot better here than most of these other places, even though for some reason right now I don't know where these ideas are coming from, that Iran is this leader of LGBT communities when they're killing people in that community by the hundreds, and when it's the social norm to further do so. And I'm just using that as one example, but I think that's the same thing we have in this in the politicians. People just have this perspective that that the enemy, which is the other party, is always, always, always wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's the perspective they have. And it translates down to the individual, because, most people aren't actually part of these parties. They just do what the party wants them to. They follow for it and they support them. But they ultimately are being guided by the perspectives of that party. And those perspectives are becoming incredibly stratified and binary. And so everyone is seeing each other as an enemy and seeing people as untrustworthy, when they're we're seeing a lot of information is almost being split evenly, and one side will embrace part of that information, the other side will embrace part of the information, yet they refuse to look at the entirety of the problem because they won't deal with the problems in their own party. And that's a lot of what we're getting here. So we have people that think of each other as enemies because that's what's playing out on the political scale. And I think that's why. So you have a lot of these people who embrace these ideas wholeheartedly without any information. Like I said with that Iran thing, this was mostly younger white people that were doing this, from what I noticed. And it was like a huge trend just the other day. But I think I only picked this because I think it's a perfect example, and it just happened that like people think we're in this terrible, terrible condition. That's not necessarily the case. Like, yes, things always change, and some things always get worse, and some things get better. But they have this like imaginary view of how the rest of the world doesn't have any racism, for instance, when you can't even go into restaurants or live in certain districts of Hong Kong right now if you're black. And people are saying black people are treated way better in China because that's kind of what one side is promoting. And that is not the case whatsoever. And so people are basing a lot of their hatred on these stories with no real backing and what's happening out there.
Yeah, I mean, that is that's interesting information. I mean, like, you know, like I said before, everything is so polarizing. Everything is so, you know, one side is doing something else and the other side is saying, hey, but we're doing this other thing, so come on over here. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I could see why, you know, people are getting frustrated to the point where they have mental breaks because they don't get a mental break. Does that make any sense? Because every day we're opening up our phones, we're turning on our TVs, we're looking at the internets, whatever it is, and we're seeing that new polarizing thing. We're seeing AOC say something, or we're saying, you know, we're seeing Candace Owens say something, or we're seeing a tennis player drop out of the French Open citing mental health issues, and then the whole world implodes over that, talking about how terrible that person is for leaving, so on and so forth, calling her a spoiled brat, etc. And then we're all seeing this. The general public is seeing these things every day. Real talk. Seeing these things every day and realizing that, well, then if they're going to talk down on that, how can I actually open up and talk about this thing freely? That's what I mean by it. Like, and somebody else just said earlier that there are other shootings in other countries as well, and that's very, very true. But I was just talking about America alone. You know, America itself. America is dealing with some seriously negative stuff right now, and there's got to be a way to release that negative energy, not with more negative acts of violence. That's what I'm saying. America really does have. America needs to sit down and actually have a conversation, real talk, and relieve some of this frustration, because there's a lot, you know. And it all started a while back, way before the thing that we've been fighting off for the past year and a half. You know, this happened way before this. You know, it's been going on for a long time. Okay. But there's a lot of things that are finally coming to the surface that I think instead of us bashing it down, we need to address it. How we do that, I do not know. But we got to move on to the next subject, okay? And this one is a little bit lighter. Okay? And this goes out to my ladies. This is going to my ladies, okay? Because we need to talk about this, especially my black female audience, okay? My sisters out there, we need to talk about this, real talk. Now, this is something that's been going on. This is a conversation that's been going on for the past week. I haven't gotten a chance to do this, and I was holding on to this conversation for the main channel, but, you know, obviously I did the math wrong, and apparently it was wrong. So my math was wrong, and of course, you know, we aren't going to be back on the main channel till tomorrow, but I did want to talk about this particular bonnet fiasco, okay? The bonnet debate, all right? And so I want to hear from you ladies out there in regards to this conversation. Now, there has been a video that's been circulating around where Monique, comedian, actress extraordinaire, Monique, was addressing to she had a bone to pick to our beautiful black sisters out there about wearing bonnets in public. So, we do have the video here. I wanted to show it to you guys, and I wanted to get your opinions on this. And I'm not trying to single out just black women in this conversation. This conversation is open to everyone. But this address, this video, this message is specifically to the ladies out there that wear bonnets in public. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what she has to say.
It took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment, and I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie, and I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie got to talk to her babies and say some real shit. So yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? And we got 3 shows tonight. We got a matinee at 5:30, then we got 7, then we got 10.
Shameless
right?
plug.
I'm excited. I always love going to the stage. So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get them in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters.
Here we go.
In head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride.
Okay. I think that's enough. Okay. So, here it is, y'all. This is a conversation I wanted to have with every single one of y'all about this whole bonnet fiasco. Now, this is something that I found very interesting, okay? There is a very interesting situation that happened just the other day that I found out that there are actual hotels that now have no bonnets allowed posters. Like, you know, on the top they have like, you must wear a mask. I mean, not anymore, but this is a thing in Texas. It'll say must wear a mask. Now that's gone. Now there's a new sign that says no bonnets allowed in this main office. Real talk. This is a thing that really does happen. Hold on. This is a thing that really does happen. Bonnets apparently are a huge problem. All right, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I was at Walmart just 2 days ago. Not even kidding. And the funny thing is it's funny how much you don't notice something like this. You don't notice until you go, right? She says something like this, and then you start to look, and you go, oh, my God. There's a lot of women in here wearing bonnets. Now, here, my personal opinion, okay? I do understand, right, where she's coming from, okay? But I don't agree with it. Chuck Diesel just said, I agree with her 1,000%. That's what he said, not me. But so hold on. I'm not trying to throw you on the bus. I'm just playing. Chuck, I'm not trying to throw you on the bus. But here it is. You got to remember, this is a woman. Obviously, she is very well-to-do. She's cut from she's worked her way up to the top. She comes from Bonnets. She works in the business of vanity. She has to look good. She has an image to uphold. So she has to show up to places to look good, right? She also is kind of old school. Let's be real. She says in the very beginning, you are calling me auntie. I hear you guys always calling me auntie, such and such. So she's doing exactly her job, which is playing auntie right now. She is talking about it like she is a older woman looking at her younger nieces and nephews and going, okay, this is not the way. It might be a little old school, but she's putting in her own opinion. Now, she has been thrown under the bus because of talking about this thing. Yes, I do agree that I have seen a lot of women wearing their head wraps, the bonnets, etc., to get onto an airplane, to go to the supermarket, etc. But at the same time, here it is. I've walked in with looking drove as hell. That's an old school word. Looking drove as hell. I've gone into a supermarket looking really, really bad. Now, when it comes to an airport, though, I dress. I wear what I feel like what I'd wear if I was going to go out. Not like to the club or anything. It's not like I'm walking into the airport wearing sequins or something. But I'm just saying, like, I make sure that I'm presentable when I get on the plane and when I get off the plane. Because usually I'm going straight from off the plane into something, right? But some people want to be comfortable as hell. So I'm going to throw the question out to you guys. What are your thoughts on this comment? Are you with her? Are you not with her? I'll say this too. One more thing before I throw it to David. I also do think that just because you walk in with a hair bonnet or a head scarf or a head wrap or whatever to go to the supermarket or go to the airport to ride a plane that you're not going anywhere, you're not there to impress anybody, you're flying from A to B and that's it, right? Does not automatically mean that you are a classless woman. Does not define you as somebody who has no self-respect for yourself. It's called you just want to be comfortable, baby. So I don't blame you. I'm comfortable in my jeans and in a t-shirt type of thing, or a nice hoodie or something like that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm comfortable with. If a woman wants to wear a head wrap or she wants to wear a bonnet on a plane or go into a supermarket with that stuff, I'm not sitting there going, oh, damn, look at her. Oh, she has no respect for herself. No, she just wants to go in, get some milk, eggs, and bread and get the hell out. So she got to get it all done up before she goes into the supermarket. I just call trash on it, personally. But I understand where she's coming from in regards to just playing the auntie and saying, hey, this is a look that just is becoming a thing and is becoming too much. But it is old school. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it's really that weird of a thing to be doing at all. I mean, white people wear bonnets out and everything. It's not really that unusual, I guess. Like, I mean, a lot of people wear bonnets just for being Christian even. Like, it does say into the Bible that women should generally be wearing a bonnet or some sort of hair covering. I mean, it's pretty universal across even religions. Like Judaism, a woman's supposed to generally hide her hair unless she's praying to God. Islam and the Quran says a woman should be wearing a pretty much a bonnet. The whole like face veil and stuff, that comes from the Hadith, which were much later. But the Islam itself, the original Quran, just says that they need to cover their hair. I don't know. I just thought this was always a normal thing that people did. I mean, I've always seen people in bonnets. It's very traditional. It's old school. It's just doesn't strike me as strange at all. I mean, like I said, most religions look towards that. It's something women have been wearing for 2,000 years by their own volition in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, as with most things, no one person should be dictating what other people are allowed to wear or look like, unless, they're breaking a law by being naked, I guess, since we still don't allow that.
Tabitha Hartig said, you do you is my opinion, none ya to everyone else. I agree. Like, I feel like you dress how you want to dress, whatever you're comfortable with. Real talk. That's That's what I think. You know, if you're comfortable with that and going to a supermarket like with wearing a bonnet, hey man, that's on you. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and go, the hell you doing? You know what I mean? I don't think that automatically drops it drops you as, you know, your level of respect for self-respect, your level of who you are, you know. I don't think it stops anything. I do understand what she's trying to say, because I do feel like, I'm gonna be real, like, fellas, I'm on this page too, though, to a certain extent. But at the same time, if this is how you want to rock, that's how you want to rock. But you know, when I grew up, my mom told me not to walk around in a white tank top. You know what I mean? Like an undershirt running around. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, not to go to a public outing with my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Look presentable whenever you're out in public. That's how I grew up. But I can't turn to somebody and tell them because you're wearing a bonnet, therefore such and such, you're less than. Nah. See, you wear what you want to wear, baby. Let's go. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I was gonna say, I think maybe it just doesn't seem to have a different meaning when people, I guess, see a black person in a bonnet for some reason. But I mean, like, because I've seen people complain about it, like they're wearing wraps around their hair, like that it's unnatural or unusual thing. But I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about when they've had these traditions for a long time. Wrapping your hair up is just, I don't know. It's 2,000 years old. Most religions support it. Most nations have people doing it. Even if it's just a head wrap, that's very common. That's called a turban in some places. But even in places where they don't call them turbans, like southern India, they'll wear a close head wrap. I mean, this is just how most of the world is. Obviously, it's not as much of a case in the Western world at this point because there's less of a religious influence on there. But a lot of women still just wear hats out of tradition or whatever. It's like, I know some people are saying like shower cap style. I mean, if it's like a plastic one, that's a little crass. But
No,
I mean,
but there are ones I've seen, like when I was in Walmart. I'm not kidding. They were wearing the same. It's a mother and daughter. They were wearing the same bonnet except different colors. And I kid you not. It was like a shower cap. It was a shower cap. But at the same time, the only reason why I noticed it is because of this viral video. It's because of Monique and this viral video. Real talk. That's the only reason why I knew about, that I noticed it. You know what I mean? Like it stuck out like a sore thumb. Solely because of that. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, okay, Chuck and everybody, the pioneer. Yes, it's tacky. Yes, it is. But I've seen worse people. I've seen worse things on people. You've seen those photos of people in Walmart where they wear something and you're like, bruh, you're wearing that? Bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like just the most ridiculous, most outrageous clothing. And they're wearing that stuff in a supermarket or in a Walmart and all that stuff. So for me, I'm like, this is the worst. Like, that's not the worst they can do. You know what I mean? It's just a bonnet. And also, what I put on my own body is on me, right? I'm not about to tell anybody else how to wear their clothes because not everybody lives my life and not everybody, you know, I am only me. So I'm not about to tell anybody how to live their life. If you want to wear a bonnet, wear a bonnet. Like, personally, I don't really care. But it is very interesting that people are up in arms with this conversation that Monique had. I think she was just bringing a tiny bit of awareness and an interesting insight on something that I feel like is being overlooked. And maybe some people will look at this and go, you know what, she's right. I see what she's saying. You know, I could be a little bit more presentable when I go out in the public, blah, blah, blah. But not everybody, like I said, not everybody is a public figure. Not everybody is trying to be a you know, superstar. You know, some people are just regular, everyday people. So, hey, you want to wear that bonnet? Hey, do you, boo-boo. Enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself, okay? And make it just, I don't know, have a dope time doing it. I don't really care. I don't care. But she got in trouble for that. And I got to be real. Monique is always stirring the pot, but at the same time, like, I understand where she's coming from. I do. A tiny bit. That's all, But anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we got to talk about this late show and El Chapo's GF. His girlfriend is straight up a G, yo. We got to talk about that. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You love peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. And as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform
I'm sorry,
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this
No,
man
it's
is
not
too
boring.
exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and being a part of the conversation today. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go crush that subscribe button down below. I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do an evening show Tuesday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be sure to go crush that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. I see a bunch of you guys tuning in and being a part of the conversation, so send those likes all the way up. Jump into the conversation in the chat, and let's keep this show rolling. Anyway, we got to go into our next top story of the day. El Chapo's girlfriend has pled guilty, y'all. David's got the story. What the guan, bruh?
All right, so this is a interesting one. I mean, you guys might, I'm sure most of you remember who El Chapo is, so I'm not really going to go into background on him, but basically he was one of the major drug dealers out of South America. And what we're just seeing right now, his wife, actually he's from Mexico, but he was working through South America as well as Mexico and Central America. However, his wife was just in a court in the U.S. Her name is, El Chapo's real name, her husband's name is Joaquin Guzman, and she is married to him about 15 years ago, it looks like. Her name is Emel Coronel Ayaspiro. She's 31, and she admitted that she helped El Chapo run the Sinaloa drug cartel and assisted him in escaping prison in 2015. Right now, she just admitted this, but the escape itself was in 2015. So she could end up facing a lifetime in prison and be fined up to $10 million for this. That's 7.1 million pounds. And right now, the authorities are still looking into it. Her husband is currently serving a life sentence in Colorado for drug trafficking and money laundering. Authorities say that the Sinaloa cartel was the biggest supplier of drugs in the U.S. while El Chapo was still active. Coronel Ayaspiro, she appeared in court wearing a green jumpsuit and white face mask to enter her plea before the U.S. District Judge Rudolph Contreras. She pleaded guilty to 3 counts of conspiring to distribute illegal drugs, conspiring to launder money, and engaging in financial dealings with the Sinaloa drug cartel. Coronel Ayaspiro, who made a plea agreement, also admitted to playing her role in the 2015 escape that I just mentioned. Her attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, says that she is very happy to put this behind her. She didn't expect to get arrested after her husband received a life in prison, so this is obviously a troubling time, but we are going to get past it. For the most part, she was quiet during the court proceeding, which lasted about an hour long. Occasionally, she spoke in Spanish, and all of her words were translated by an interpreter. The reporter said that she met Coronel and describes her as one of the most powerful women in narco trafficking. And in New York, they watched her smile at photographers as they flocked around her outside the courthouse where her husband was standing trial. Generally, the media has been treating her as a bit of a celebrity ever since the arrest. No one really expected her, at least within the reporter cadre, to end up getting charged with anything. However, after confessing her own guilt after participating in the cartel, the judge made it official and said that, literally, he says, "I find you guilty as charged." A few minutes later, they ended up disconnecting all of the phone lines in the area, or in the courtroom area, and moved her to her holding cell at that point. And I mean, that's the situation she's in right now. For the most part, she's being held because of her assistance with El Chapo, in addition to the escape attempt. So she will be facing similar drug charges, though obviously not as much. And she was originally extradited in January 2017, but her court is now just proceeding after all the information and the attorneys have prepared the case. Obviously, it already resolved itself very quickly because she pled guilty and was found guilty. However, the trial was a brand new thing that they did not expect to happen. So right now, they're both going to be in jail for a very long time. And it looks like that basically their cartel, at least as far as their involvement is going, is pretty much ended. Guzman has previously been listed in Forbes in 2009 list of the world's richest people. He was the 701st richest person with an estimated worth of $1 billion. And so right now they're both in jail. There is unlikely to be any sort of appeal because she basically went along with the entire process. So there's pretty much no chance of this changing at this point. She's not trying to get it changed. She just pleaded guilty, accepted her guilty verdict, and went off. I do assume that she'll try to get her time in prison reduced, probably by good behavior. That's not unusual, especially in female prisons where there's less chance of violence occurring in the first place. Compared this to El Chapo, who's most likely going to be in prison for the rest of his life. However, El Chapo was the one running this, and she was ultimately just an assistant in that way. And to be fair, I mean, she was a 17-year-old dancer when he married her, and he was about 50 years old. So there is obviously some issues of probably grooming leading into that before that even happened.
Facts. But I'll say this, though. That girl's an OG. I'm telling you, that girl is straight up being... that is loyalty. Let me just say that, because she could have easily just said, "I will squawk. Just tell me what I need to say, so I can get a smaller sentence, or get a smaller charge. Let's work out a deal. I know exactly where all the bodies are buried. Just tell me what I need to do, so I can walk free." Literally, she didn't. She decided not to do that. She walked right in that bitch and said, "Guilty," and walked right out. 0 Fs. You know what I'm saying? That's hardcore, man. That's hardcore. Either it was They probably gave her a plea deal that was not so great. That was pretty much like, so no matter what, I'm still going to be in prison for a very long time. F it, I'm just going to say not guilty, not say anything. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. You know what I mean? But that shows how loyal. That's some old school like gangster movie type stuff. You know, that shows how loyal she is. Real talk. That's also true too. I'm just looking at Mark Jones's comment. He said she's not doing that, Pascal, because all of them cartel members would be after her. That is true too. There is protection if she was in prison, but there really isn't though at the same time. Remember, there's always somebody working on the inside. They always have somebody working on the inside, okay? So I don't know why I went there. I don't know. That's not what El Chapo sounds like, but I just went there. Just go with me, all right? They just saying out loud. She ain't safe no matter where she goes, unless she's on some high security spot. You know what I'm saying? She still could get shanked. She could still get her mind or her life rocked behind prison doors as well. You know what I mean? So
there are female members of El Chapo's organization as well as MS-13 that have been arrested in some female prisons. So, I mean, there are actual straight-up cold killers in female prisons, just most of them tend not to be. But the ones that are there, they tend to work for people like El Chapo, so they will kill her if she works out against them, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what it is. You know what I mean? But, you know, we're going to see as time goes on, as this story continues on, we'll most definitely see what happens with it as well, because obviously she pled guilty. She's having a sentencing soon, right? Right, David?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she'll have a sentencing soon, so we'll see how long she's going to be staying in prison. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see. But we got to move on to the next story. Now, this next story is this one is an interesting one too, and this one for me annoys me. I find this extremely annoying. Okay, and it's on the next title of this on the next subject on the title underneath this show. The Late Late Show is under fire for their use of food in the segment called Spill Your Guts, Fill Your Guts. Okay? Now, if you don't know the show or the game, James Gordon is the host of this show called The Late Late Show. I think it's a pretty good show. It's very gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? They found a lot of things that worked. But, they found a lot of bite-sized type of content that does very, very well on the internet. But it's also smashed into this show, right? He was the one who created Carpool Karaoke, which turned into a whole series until the thing that we're battling right now every single day for the past year and a half shut that down because obviously you couldn't be in enclosed areas driving around when people could be coughing on you and stuff, right? But there was another show that he had where he has another segment on his show that's very, very popular. And it's called Spill Your Guts, Fill Your Guts. And in this particular game, celebrities are sitting across from James Corden. Sometimes there's two, but usually it's just a one-on-one thing. So it's James Corden versus like Justin Bieber, okay? And they have a table that rotates, a spinning top table, where they have a whole bunch of just very different types of foods, different food items on this rotating table that are rather unsavory, okay? Like they'll have like random stuff like fish eyeballs, cow sperm, just random stuff, okay? That is edible, just saying. So if you don't know about the show, it's kind of like that, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a little clip, but it's probably going to make me do a commercial as always. Hold on, guys. Yeah, it's got a little commercial. Hold on one second. But within this thing, it's a lot of unsavory, things that the average person wouldn't eat. You'd look at it and go, oh my God, that's disgusting. Period. Okay, that goes without saying. All right. Now, in this particular thing, I'm going to show you a little bit of a clip so that you can see it for yourself. There's a large assortment of different foods. All right. I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to explain to you why this game now is getting in trouble. Okay. Take a look.
Your wife, Haley, has some very famous friends that she is really close to.
Yeah, right.
Rank these friends of hers from your favorite to your least favorite. Gigi Hadid.
Should I do it?
Hang on, wait. Hang on. Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, and Cara Delevingne. From your favorite to your least favorite.
Now, I just want you to know, in this particular thing, as you see in front of him, a whole bunch of food is in front of them, right? Now, they get to pick every single time. They'll rotate the food around. They'll rotate it and go, okay, you're going to have to eat chicken feet. And you're going to have to answer this hard question. If you don't answer this question, you have to eat the food, okay? Now, apparently there's been a petition that has been created by TikTok user Kim Sierra, all right, 24. They launched a petition on change.org titled, Remove Spill Your Guts segment on The Late Late Show with James Corden. Now, the petition now has gained over 12,300 signatures. The segment sees participants, participating in this thing where they're eating crazy different types of foods, okay? And the petition now has noted the spike in anti-Asian crimes. They're adding that many Asian Americans are consistently bullied and mocked for their native foods. And this segment amplifies and encourages it. I'm not kidding. Like I said, this has gained over 12,000 signatures. Now, they have food in here. For example, they're saying the petition reads, the foods that are presented are meant to be gross, quote unquote gross, as they are supposed to encourage the guest to answer his questions instead. However, many of the foods that he presents to the guests are actually from different Asian cultures. It's stated that the host has presented foods such as balut, I think I'm pronouncing that right, century-old eggs, and chicken feet, which are often regularly eaten by Asian people. During these segments, James Corden, has openly called these foods, quote unquote, really disgusting and quote unquote, horrific. The impassioned message went on in the wake of the constant Asian hate crimes that have continuously been occurring. Not only is this segment incredibly culturally offensive and insensitive, but it also encourages anti-Asian racism. So we have definitely got to talk about this. One thing I'll have to say, this is a petition that has now just been created, saying that they're eating century-old eggs, chicken feet, and of course, James Corden is playing. He's the host. These are foods that are fairly unsavory, okay, to the average American taste bud, right? They're gonna look at it and go, "Oh, this is kind of nasty," right? This is James Corden. His job is to entertain. His job is to hype things up, ham it up for the camera and for the audience that's watching them consume cow brains to liver, like to everything. Seriously. Bird urine, I don't know, like tears from a freaking from a bull. I mean, bull testicles raw. Like, seriously. This is all real stuff that they eat on this show. His job is to amp this thing up. Now, people or this person has put out a petition to try to cancel this segment on this show, specifically because they are saying it is spouting or encouraging anti-Asian racism. David, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I don't really think it's racist. It's just culinary differences in this case. I mean, they're not really saying anything about Chinese people. They're just talking about food. Oh, I mean, not Chinese in particular, but the whole century egg thing is like a Chinese one, which has always been gross to me. So, I mean, just because someone is used to eating food doesn't mean you have to want to do it as well. I mean, we were just talking about this yesterday with like we both had insects in the past that were basically like cooked up like popcorn, more or less. Like those are common in certain areas, but I'm not going to expect to bring like a box of cheese-covered dried millipedes into a general restaurant and expect anyone to want to eat them. Just the way people are. If new foods are generally seen as gross if you don't know what they are, especially something that has a strong smell like century eggs or whatever. And I don't know about the other foods. Like, yeah, no, I don't know about chicken legs or anything like that. But century eggs are. They make me nauseous seeing them. I've seen them at a Chinese restaurant a few times, and I know a lot of people eat them. They're perfectly healthy. It's just not something I want to try. And I've had some weird foods in the past, but I just don't want that one. I guess like I've had kangaroo burgers. I've had like squid jerky from Korea. I've had millipedes, all kinds of stuff. But I'm not going to eat something that just looks unappetizing ultimately. No, and I'm with you on that too. Now the thing, Roberta said, David, have you eaten human flesh? Like, okay, so I've had some, I have a very adventurous appetite or taste as well. You know what I mean? I always want to try new stuff, and it's like, oh, what's that? And blah blah blah. I've never had a century-old egg, but I would love to try one just to see what it's all about, just to see if it's all what it's cracked up to be. I've definitely had cow brains, if I'm correct. I've had liver. I've had all kinds of stuff. I've eaten shark. I've eaten crickets. I've had Cajun style crickets, which basically tasted like popcorn. I mean, I've had all kinds of different things. Like I'm just a little bit more adventurous than the average bear when it comes to trying different things. And at least I can sit there and go, I've tried it. And yes, it was disgusting, or no, it was actually delicious. Whatever. And now there's a few things I won't eat. But at the same time, for him to sit there and go, oh God, this is horrible, this is disgusting, he's just saying his own personal opinion. Mind you, there are other different types of foods that they have on that table. So what if he just took out the century-old egg, the balut, and the chicken feet? Would that be okay? Would that suffice? Now, would that show be cancelable, or that segment? Because that's ridiculous. His job is to hype up the food. His job is to mess with that celebrity's mind so that they do answer the questions, those uncomfortable questions. You see what I'm saying? That's part of their job. Their job is to do that. But for this person to go out, because I don't know if Kim is male or female. So the person who made this petition, I don't know if I don't know why they're going out of their way now to try to create a petition on a show that's just doing something where there's all types of different foods on that table. I don't think they looked at that and said, ooh, wait a second, this will really offend a lot of Asian people. Let's put some chicken feet and century-old eggs on the table because, we just want to upset everybody. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Now you're taking a show or a segment of a show that's doing very, very well. They've been doing that show for a long time, by the way, that segment on the show for a long time. And now you want to take it down because there's a few items that happen to be part of Asian cuisine, maybe are considered an Asian delicacy. But to the average American, it is probably disgusting sounding. But hey, what if they put chitlins? Real talk.
What if they put chitlins on the table? Would they suddenly be canceled? Like, what the hell? That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't make any sense. So then every culture that they have on that table should be making petitions on trying to cancel this freaking segment. That's ridiculous. What, you're just going to do American foods only? I don't know. Nothing's safe anymore.
Just like a brisket or something.
Say again, what?
Aren't chitlins just brisket basically? Or are they not?
No. I wouldn't consider it like that. Nah. It's
I've never had it, but I've eaten plenty of animal guts in the past, so it's not really that unusual of a thing.
I've had chitlins. I've had I've had everything. But still, it is chitlins is another experience. If it's not cooked right, it's another experience, bruh. It's another experience. But I'm just saying, take that, put that on the table. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Take any other thing, any type of food. Then suddenly it's like, oh, the Asian, the Irish people, are upset because now you're saying that blood sausage is you're calling blood sausage disgusting. I don't know if that's an Irish dish. I just kind of put that together.
I got like
together.
blood biscuits and stuff.
But you see what I'm saying? I just think that is ridiculous to suddenly say, oh, this is cancelable because they have food that is considered an Asian delicacy. And because he's saying, oh, God, it's so disgusting. Oh, well, you know what I mean? Suddenly now it's offensive. Like I said, doesn't make any sense to me that this world of cancel culture is going in and trying to change this. You know what I'm saying? Trying to rip this whole thing apart. For what? For what, y'all? They're not doing anything wrong. But now they're under fire for this kind of trash. I just think it's freaking ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous, y'all. I think that there are bigger things to worry about, and there are bigger things to think about and talk about than worrying about what's going on James Corden's show. Unless it was like, hey, we're about to do a whole minstrel show, guys. Me and Justin Bieber. Then we talk about it. Then there's a petition, Then we make some things go on. But the foods on the show? Come on, man. Come on. Somebody's reaching. They're grasping at straws for whatever reason. That person has too much time on their hands. Real talk. Way too much time on their hands. I do have one last story real quick. I wanted to show this to you guys. This is kind of a little bit of a lighter story. It's really messed up, actually. I don't know. I don't know why. Where is it? There it is. There is a video out here that I'm going to show you guys, and it's really messed up. Okay? Now, this is kind of a lighter story. I'll just say that too. Okay? This is a video I found on Instagram, but I think it's something that you need to see for yourself. All right? Hold on. This is really messed up. Now, a woman this woman has a fairly popular TikTok. She's got a lot of followers. It's not like she's viral or anything, but she did this video where you're gonna see here. She's shampooing her husband's dreads. Okay, but check out what she's putting in her husband's hair.
I'll brush your hair, put your do-rag on.
Nair in the shampoo. Real talk. Okay. Then she puts it in his hair.
What is that?
That is her husband's head. Okay, so real quick.
That doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. So here's the thing. They have a TikTok channel where they do like little skits and pranks, little tiny pranks and stupid. They goof. You know what I mean? You know, little kiki here or there, whatever. No big deal, right? But she puts Nair, right? Nair in the shampoo. Where her husband thinks, there's another clip I'm going to show to you here in a second, where her husband thinks that she's going to wash her hair, okay? Or wash his hair. She puts Nair in the man's head. Do you know how long that he has some pretty long dreads? Real talk. This is years and years and years of growing this hair. Now, there's another part to it. Okay, here it is.
When he found
this
out
is him.
What I had did to his head, he left. And I haven't seen him since. And today I got this picture. So he wound up having to get his head shaved.
I'm sorry, this dude looked like me now. Oh, God. Okay.
And I feel so bad, y'all. Like, I really feel bad about it. Like, I really, really do. But he don't want to talk to me or nothing. Can y'all please go to his page? Y'all plead with me. Go tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say except I'm sorry. I really felt like when it started, his hair started coming out, I felt like I went too far. But now I really feel like I went too far. And I'm sorry.
You feel like you
I'm
went
sorry. Y'all go tell him I'm sorry, please. Help me. Come on, babe. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to play the beginning of it real quick so you hear what she says here in the very beginning.
Okay, y'all. So when he found out what I had did to his head, he left.
So he left. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you guys heard that as well because I think it was kind of cut out in the very beginning. But homeboy left. Her man left her. Left the crib. Because, I mean, look at the dome. He's got a nicely shaped head, though. I'm going to be real. If he ever was to decide to go bald, he could do it. He really could rock the bald look. Real talk.
I mean, it's going to take him like 4 years to get that hair back, so he got a choice for a while.
Facts. So, here it is. On some real stuff. I need to ask y'all this. And I'm going to open up the phone lines because I want to hear your thoughts on this story. Okay? It is 314-766-4581. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular one. Should she get a second chance with this dude or no? Here it is, guys. This is what I got to say about this story. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. Hail to the no or nah, you know, it's just hair. It's going to grow back. No big deal, blah, blah, blah. This man had long dreads. I mean, it went back down to the, like, literally, like, back to the, down to the middle of his back. He had long dreads. He had these for years. Clearly, he had these for years. And you got to remember, some people say that it's when they get their dreads removed, it's like very emotional. You know what I'm saying? Because it's years and years of having something like this on your body. You've grown this thing. You've taken care of it, etc. There are memories that are in those dreads, and when you get them removed, it can be a very emotional experience. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but that's real. Okay? So when you got this girl, and also there are people out here that are doing these, you got these these people that are doing these pranks and these skits, and they're joking and they're having their fun and all that stuff. I mean, real talk. You have somebody who is trying to do a prank on you and they do this to your head. What is your response? Fellas and ladies, call in. I want to hear your thoughts on this. 314-766-4581. 314-766-5881. Again, 314-766-5881. Give me a call. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Because she's literally going to her social media and going, please, baby, please, try to get him back. Would you give that person a pass? Or would you be asking for divorce? Call. You're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
What's up, Pascal? This is Donald from St. Louis, bro.
Donald, what's up, my man? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So,
speak on it.
Listen, man. I had dreads, right, for 11 years, and so I can definitely speak on this.
Come on.
Like, for me, I cut my own dreads off because I just kind of, I was like, okay, this is 11 years is long enough for me. But to have somebody cut them off as a joke?
Unforgivable.
Listen, this is unforgivable because you have to think she's putting on video, putting the nair in there, knowing this is going to take all of his hair out.
Right.
And she's still doing it.
Yeah.
At no point did she say, okay, this is a bad idea.
She's crazy for this one, man. I'll be real. That's straight crazy. That's straight crazy. And it's all for the views. Literally. All of that was for views. Man.
My son watches those a lot, the little, couples doing the little jokes on each other and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the culture we're in, so, I don't try to judge it, but that was just too far.
Way too far. So you saying, I'm gonna sign them papers? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, it ought to be done. I will be done. I will be done, Pascal.
Facts.
Done, man.
Man, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it too. I'm looking at that and I'm going, I don't know if I could forgive that person like that and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Live life and move on. I couldn't. Personally, I could not. I'd be looking at that person with so much disdain. Go
Let
ahead.
me see if you will give her this out. Like, if you really do love her and you felt, okay, she did go too far, but I really do love the girl. Now I'm putting neat in your hair. You're bald-headed, and we both growing our hair back together. Maybe we could stay together and, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
What about that?
No, hell to the no. I'm going to sign them papers. I'm good. I'm out. Chucking up the deuces. I'm good. I'm not doing that stuff, man. Because one day I'm going to wake up and she's going to be setting my pubic hair on fire. You know what I'm saying? My whole crotch will be on fire because she's trying to do a challenge and trying to make views. I couldn't do it. She's not trustworthy after that, man. That's years of cultivating that hair. Years. So I'm out. There's no forgiving. This is unforgivable to me.
Yeah. I started mine in the year 2000, and I cut them off in 2011.
Bruh.
Yeah. So when you get them dreads, man, especially if you're doing them right, they're your pride and joy for a long time, bro.
How long did they real talk, real quick? How long did your dreads get to? How far down? Did they get down to
all the way
mid-back?
Yes, my butt.
Whoa.
Matter of fact, Pascal, I still have them. 10 years later, I have them in a bag in a closet. That's how much I cherished them. I kept them.
Why? Why though? Why?
Man,
why?
People have told me you should get them put back in. You know how they do the little weaving?
Yeah,
whatever?
the weaving in.
You
Yeah, man.
should try to find somebody to put it back in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, wait. Because I felt like maybe you were just going back and just taking big sniffs of it. You know what I mean? Just to think about the days of yore. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Smelling it. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I remember those days when I had that hair. But that's interesting. But there's a connection to it.
I will send you a picture on Pascal.
Please.
I will put a picture on your page and send it to you.
Please, this is what I want to see from. Yes, we all want to see this. You guys are gonna have to go to check it out on the Pascal Show Facebook page. Please go and post it over there. I will share it on that page for sure. That's hilarious, man. Donald, thank you so much for the phone call. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, bro. Love the show. All
Thank
right.
you, brother. Peace. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But like I said, I would not. This is for me. It's unforgivable. I could not be cool with something like that. I could not just be rolling with this and just be okay with it. Nah. After you do something like that to me, somebody said earlier in the comments that would count as assault. And I agree. I mean, I wouldn't press any charges type of thing, but I would be out the door because something like that is unforgivable. Real talk. You can't do that to a man's hair. Just like him, if he ever thought about, what if I put Nair in the shampoo and shampooed her hair? Do you understand? It doesn't matter. I get it. You know, a lot of women wear wigs and all that stuff too, but at the same time, like, that's unforgivable. That's somebody's hair. That's your hair. Remember how frustrated that woman was, Gorilla Glue girl? She got so frustrated because she was like, oh, my hair is ruined. All this time and all that, I just wanted my hair to just lay right and to lay in the same spot forever, blah, blah, blah. She was tripping. Hair is an extension of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? King Timma said, plot twist, it was Pascal the whole time. Yes. That was me, actually. That was me about a year ago.
Powers of being bald.
Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? The opposite of Samson. You see what I'm saying? I got my strength when I lost my hair. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, that is unforgivable. Okay, guys? Unforgivable. Ladies, don't do this to your fellas. I don't care if it's for views. I don't care if it would make you look good or it would make you go viral. By the way, if this whole thing is real, let's be real too. If this whole thing is real and this stunt really happened to this man, unbeknownst to him, then yes, if they're married or if they're together, I don't see him coming back anytime soon. He gonna sign them papers? Real talk, he is. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody for being on today. I really do appreciate it. You guys are all dope as hell. Be sure to hit that like button down below because I see a bunch of y'all coming in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button down below. That would really mean a lot. Starting Monday, I will be back. I will be back to on the main channel, which I'm very excited about. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things going on. I just said, like I said, starting in July, I will be broadcasting my show live from Miami, just so that you guys know. So Miami shows are going to be fire. They're going to be hot. They're going to be dope. It's going to be Miami. So I'm very, very excited about that. We're going to be broadcasting live from Miami, y'all. Okay? I'm so excited. But we will be back on the main channel on Monday. I might come on tomorrow because apparently that's when the thing is going to be lifted. Okay? On the main channel. So I might jump on there tomorrow just for fun, etc. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have some good times if I am on tomorrow on Saturday. Like I said, that's when I'm going to be left out. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be let out. It's going to be dope. So hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. I will be using this channel a lot from this point on. So for those of y'all who haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button here, etc. I'm going to be growing the hell out of this channel as well. And putting majority, not all, but majority of the clips that we cover during the show on this secondary channel from this point on. So anytime that you're trying to go, I just want to see the highlights today, let's just see what the subjects that they talked about, such and such, the majority of those clips are going to be here on this channel, okay? And then the main show, the full stream, the full show will be on the main channel, just so that you guys know. And I might put out one clip over there just for people who just don't know about the clips the secondary channel quite yet. Okay, so tomorrow I will be emancipated from the prisons and from the jails of YouTube. So be sure to tune in tomorrow when I jump on. It'll be very, very random. Okay. No, I am not moving to Miami. I am just going to Miami for some work, and I'm just utilizing that time to do my show out there as well. Okay. So I'm going out there for work and the show. So it's both. I'm not moving or anything. I'm just going out there and doing the thing, okay? Yes, stories, skits, etc., all going to be here on the secondary channel. But the skits will be, sorry, not the skits. The skits will be on the main channel as well, just so you guys know, okay? A shirtless show? Maybe. I've been putting the work in. I've been putting work in. You know what I mean? I've been working on my fitness. So maybe so. I'm kidding. I'll never do that. No, unless I'm working out. Or I'm swimming or something.
Gotta work out right beforehand and get a pump.
Yeah, I got to get that pump going, and then I'm just flexing the entire time. And then when I talk, it sounds like I'm trying to take a shit. So, no, I'm not going to
do
that.
The whole show like this.
Just flexing hard, you know what I mean? Have a hernia just from flexing too hard. You know what I'm saying? No, we good. We good on that. Okay. But anyway, guys, be good out there. All right. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you guys tomorrow, like I said, I'll be on the main channel starting on Monday. And of course, I'll be talking about all this information about Miami and what I'm doing out there and why I'm going to be out there and all that. I'll be talking about that more in detail on the main channel on Monday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay? So it is time to get going. All right? Love all y'all. You guys are amazing. Shay, love you. Roberta, love you. King Timma, love you, man. Mark Jones, Bob, Wintermute, Siri. I didn't see Lady Justice on here, but Lady Justice, Kylie, everybody who's been tuning in. I love all you guys. Have a wonderful and productive and peaceful weekend, okay? Do something positive this weekend. I'll see you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Oh, and Chuck and Noli. Let's not forget you guys, too, all right? I'll see you guys Monday, if not Saturday, all right? This is The Pascal Show. Bye. Oh, and thanks to David, too. Thanks for being on, bruh. I forgot to say that, too.
I forgot about that.
I don't like you, so I don't give a damn. I don't even know why I gave you props. Forget you. Bye.
Wishing you love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform tonight.